Hello everyone. In this session, we are going to talk about the Advanced Editor in Power BI. The Advanced Editor in Power BI is a feature within the Power Query Editor that allows the users to directly edit the M code behind their data transformation steps. M is the formula language used by the Power Query to perform the data manipulation and transformation operations. The Advanced Editor provides you with a greater flexibility and control over the data transformation process. It allows the users to write custom M code to perform complex transformations that may not be achievable using the graphical interface alone. With the Advanced Editor, users can leverage the full capabilities of the M language to implement the custom logic, handle edge cases, and perform advanced data manipulation tasks. Additionally, the advanced editor facilitates the collaboration and knowledge sharing among the Power BI users. Users can share and reuse the custom M code snippets, improving the efficiency and consistency across the data transformation process within an organization. While the graphical interface of Power Query Editor is intuitive and user friendly for most tasks, the advanced editor caters to users with more advanced data preparation needs or those who prefer to directly work with the code. It empowers the users to tackle the complex data transformation challenges and unlock the full potential of their data within the Power BI. So let's go to the Power BI screen and see how can we use this M code in the advanced query editor. So we are in our Power BI screen and over here I have this Power Query Editor open. So we are in our Power Query Editor and we have this multiple data sets loaded with us. So right now, whenever I'm making any changes into this data set, let's say for example, I have this order ID column with me. So let's say I certainly decide that I don't need this column right now and I want to remove this column. So I can select it and remove it. After I have made any changes to my data, all these steps would be reflected over here in the applied steps. Now let's say if you are working with a new data set and you know that this data set is also similar to that data set. Now you again want to repeat all the steps. Or let's say if you want to make any advanced changes into your data set, which is not achievable with the help of this user interface. In that case, you chose to use any advanced editor. So I have this query option and in this query tab, I have this advanced editor option. If I click on it, it would open an advanced editor for me. Now, this advanced editor consists of the M code, which is used by Power BI. So this M code is a coding language. And let's say if you don't want to use any graphical interface to make any transformations into your data, all these things can be also achieved with this advanced editor with the help of M language. All these things that I have changed in my data set are reflecting over here. For example, it is telling me that I have removed this column and the column name was order ID. So I can click on done. And if I want to roll back, what I can do is I can remove this step. Now let's say I want to make any changes in this particular column. I want to change the name of this column from order ID to order number. In that case, what I can do is I can double click in this column and I can rename it to say order number. And I will click outside of it and the change would be reflected over here in the applied steps. And as you can see, a step has been added which says I have renamed this column. Now, what if I don't want to use this Power Query Editor and if I want to use the advanced editor and with the help of M language, I want to rename this column. So in that case, I can use this query tab to go on the advanced editor option. I will click on advanced editor and it would show me all the steps that have been applied to that data set. Now remember, whenever you are loading any data set, some of the steps would be pre-applied to it. For example, that it is showing you what is the source of this data set. The second one is that what is the particular data set containing. Then if it has promoted any particular row to act as a header, so it has already detected the header in my table. Then what are the different types of data in that particular data set? For example, what is the data of each column in my data? So it is also looking for that. Then the steps that I have done. So over here, I have renamed my column and it is telling me that I have renamed this particular column and it has changed the column name from order ID to order number. Now I want to make the changes to the particular column and instead of order NO in short of number, I want to rename it as number NUMBER. So I can make the changes over here also. I can rename it to say order number complete and I can then click on done. And you can see that the changes have now applied to over here in the Power Query editor itself. Now, this is one of the way in which you can use this advanced editor. Now, let's say if again you are loading any kind of data set and this data set is similar to this order and every column is basically the same in that. So in that case, whatever steps you are performing over here, if you are changing any kind of data, if you are transforming the data, if you are removing some permanent columns, or if you are adding some additional rows on the basis of any conditions. So all these steps would be reflected over here in the applied steps. And in the background, our Power BI understands this M language and it reflects every change that you have made in this advanced editor. So basically, that would mean that if you select this whole code and if you copy it, and if you go to any other particular data set which has this particular data, let's say this orders 2 is also having the same data as my particular orders table because I have loaded this table twice. I can go in this advanced editor option and I can paste this line of codes which I've made changes to. And when we will click done, it would make the same kind of changes over here also in this particular data set. So in this way, what exactly can happen is that if you're working in a company and if you have applied some cleaning steps to a data set, you don't need to repeat those cleaning steps whenever you are getting same kind of data again. So in that case, let's say if you are having the same steps to do again and again, it would save a lot of time for you. And with the help of this advanced editor, you can achieve that whole task in a shorter span of time. Also, if you are someone who likes to work with codes, you can go in this advanced editor and here by coding, you can transform the data if you are not able to do it with the help of this Power Query Editor's UI. So in this way, you can use this advanced editor option. So this was all for this session. We will be talking a bit more about the M language. And when we will be looking at the M language, using that, you can make some different functions in the advanced editor and you can transform your data. Thank you.